Namaste, beloveds. I hope you have had um, a good day, a good week, a good month as best you can. I know with everything going on in the world, that that's probably a struggle for you, and I can totally understand and relate to that. I've been really mindful of how much of the news that I'm taking in. It's hard, but I feel as a fellow human being that it's important to stay connected no matter how uncomfortable. So I realized one of the things that has been going on for me and what's been coming up is these old feelings of fear. And it's not from a place of doing anything malicious or anything, but I definitely kind of noticed like a hint of self sabotage in that I have a program that I'm really passionate about that I feel that will help a lot of people, especially energy healers. But that fear is keeping me from um, being, I guess the feeling of vulnerability is definitely present. And the more I think about it, it's just kind of like from the old memories of, fear of ridicule and persecution. Because, in the old days, in the old ways, when you're in the tribe and you're ridiculed and persecuted, you're quite likely rejected. And if you're out in the woods or in the sticks, that meant you're doomed most likely, unless, I don't know, you're Chuck Norris or whatever the equivalent of Chuck Norris is in the 1600s. But the reason why I feel like I'm rambling is that I understand as an energy healer, it can feel really daunting, especially if you come from um, a life where what you know is very different from what you feel. And I know that may seem obscure for some people. For energy healers, we kind of get it because there's lots of things that can't be explained. The human language is so incredibly limited. And then we add inflection and context, and then we bring our own stories into the mix. It can be really hard to understand what our other fellow human beings are saying. But with energy healers, we just kind of know on this level that can't be explained properly. But the point I wanted to make is the program that I've created for energy healers is it's powerful in that all of the things that we know that we can do for ourselves, we can be our best selves. But I know that can be really scary, especially if you come from, like in my household, it was a very different, very spiritual and religious tradition to what I have now. I still consider myself someone who is of Christ consciousness, but it's not very modern sense of that. It's very old school. But then I also bring with it other kind of traditions of spirituality. I'm heavily spiritual. I don't consider myself religious. I think being out in my yard and on my porch in the morning is more church than anything else. Um, but I think with energy healers, sometimes we have this 21st century new world mixed in with our old school thinking of what we feel and we know in our hearts, what makes us our best selves. And that can be a great big mess. That can be scary and that can be weird, especially if you have people around you that don't understand what you're feeling, that don't understand that you might need a little bit more rest than someone else who may not feel comfortable in crowds. I'm not a big fan of crowds, but I do what I can. Sometimes you have to be out in a crowd, and I get that in my mind. But some people um, don't really feel that way and are very introverted. But I think the main reason why I created the program that I did, Reclaim Your Energy, is because I've met so many energy healers that have profound, wonderful gifts, trust what they do, trust their gifts. But somewhere along the way, and I can totally relate to this because I'm speaking more of myself than probably anyone else, the worthiness, when the worthiness is just not there. The worthiness is, okay, I take that back. The worthiness is there. It's just not to the level of the trust we have in our gifts. And then when our worthiness is all shot to hell, that can jack up our self-esteem and how we view the world and our compassion for ourselves. And we overcompensate for that. We're having more compassion for everyone else, more so than we do ourselves. And with self-care, especially with energy healers, that is so incredibly important, because when we have the worthiness there that we need, when we trust ourselves, we don't work ourselves to death. We actually charge a rate that we feel comfortable with, so that we can take care of our needs and not be in this cycle of exhaustion, resentment, tired, irritation, shame, guilt, because you feel bad because you should be, taking care of all these people. And then you're not charging what you're worth, and so you're exhausted all the time. But again, that's bringing an old story of the old days when healers in the village were taken care of. But again, it's a 21st century, and then you're bringing your old stories in. So it's a great big mess. And the reason why I'm sounding rambly, because it's so many different reasons why energy healers struggle so much. We, a lot of the time, our souls are very pre-modern history, but we're living in the 21st century. And I know for a lot of us, sometimes that's a conflict, because you want to do the right thing and you don't want to charge, but you have to pay your electricity bill. And I've got school loans I still have to pay. So, yeah. So the reason why for all this is just reclaim your energy is a way for you to be in a safe space for you to figure out your shit, so you can charge what you're worth, so that you have the energy for all the other things you want to do. And when I say that the title of this is I Care and I Don't Care, as a Reiki practitioner, I do not have any expectations to what you want for your self-care. That's none of my business. That will never be any of my business. But as a healer, I feel compelled that if anyone who wants to come to me for help, helping them remember what it is that they love so much, then I'm here for that. That's my jam. That's my superpower, is holding space for people to let them figure out whatever the hell it is that they want. Because I've just seen so many people, energy healers, it's heartbreaking, just want help, feel like they're not allowed to ask for help or seek help. And I'm like, you're a human being. You have flaws. You're perfect in your imperfection. There's nothing wrong for asking for help. And I know a lot of you are like, well, I should know better. That's fair. You should know better. And you do know better. It's just, again, that old story is coming in, just, something you may have done goofy when you were 6 and you carried it with you, into your adulthood. I have a whole list of stories of things I did as a child, things that had happened to me, a lot of traumatic events. And through healing and coaching and a crap ton of therapy and all sorts of things, I'm getting to a point where I'm coming out of this long, dark tunnel of absolute terror. Like, I'm working with a coach now, Susan Wilkes Kennedy. She is a fantastic human being. And one of the things we've been talking about the last couple of weeks is like these old memories where all this, like, I've had like really traumatic terror moments that I just squashed down. So in my self-care, I knew I needed to do something. I knew I'd gotten to a point where I would just be like, I got to this point, like, okay, I know I need help, and I get help, and then I'd kind of process everything, and then I get to another point, I'm like, okay, I need some more help. And this new version of that is I've been stopped by so much terror in my life that I need to heal from in order to move forward. So for me, my self-care is getting the help I need in coaching. Sometimes it's therapy, sometimes it's not therapy, and I want to hold that space for other energy healers to like make you have you realize, okay, well, in my awareness, I realize I need to do this. It could be something as simple as actually scheduling self-care, baths, mani-pedis, or it might be like, I really think I need to talk to a therapist, which is totally valid. If you feel that you need to speak to a therapist, please, for all that is holy, make an appointment with a therapist. And that's one of the things that I'm offering with this program is not necessarily the therapist, but I do know therapists. I've talked to a lot of therapists, like locally and internationally, who can help you if you need it. So I'm going to put the link for the site if you want to just check it out. If you want to ask me some questions, definitely let me know. But one of the things I am offering in this program is extra, like, bonus calls for certain for like each chakra. Like, you know, for money, it's oh cool, it worked. For money, there's like a financial advisor who's also a Reiki practitioner, someone who does mindfulness meditation, because sometimes, you know, people don't feel really super, you know, comfortable with meditation. And if I can get meditation down until I lost my momentum a couple months ago, anyone can do meditation. And meditation is awesome. And there's lots of wonderful science about meditation and journaling and, you know, all things like that that I, you know, bringing in this program. But I have to start somewhere. And so if it means an imperfect, rambly Facebook Live at 10 o'clock at night on a Tuesday, then so be it. I don't care. I'm here to hold space for energy healers who want something more than being exhausted all the damn time. If you're tired of being exhausted, if you're tired of being broke and you have no idea what you want to do, reach out to me, message me, let's talk, let's figure something out. I have like the program, I have distance Reiki. If you just want to just share what's on your brain, you know, for a couple minutes, that's cool. Just, you know, something. I care, but I don't care. Obviously, I care about you, but I can't care for you more than you care more for you. Even if it's just like, oh God, damn, I don't know if I'm worth it. But I feel like I'm a little worth it. That's good. That's a good place to start. It's a good place to start. So I've been thinking about this all day long, just with everything going on in the world. Energy healers and light workers do an amazing job holding space for the planet. And it's unfortunate that we have to feel like we have to go to such martyr-esque extremes to share our gifts with the world and try and maintain some sense of like sanity, for whatever that's worth. So I just wanted to share this. If you are interested at all, just check out the link. The program starts in 2 weeks from today at 8 o'clock. The calls will be recorded if you can't make it. And if you feel like, yeah, I know I have like a trillion billion things to do right now, it's a lifetime program, and it's since it's new, this is the price is like $298.50 for like 8 weeks, and that's the lowest it'll ever be. So if you're not really sure, just check it out. And again, if you have any questions, just let me know. And namaste. Take care.